So as a resource for you as you're doing class visits or preschool visits, either where a class is coming into the library or you're going to visit them, we have a great book that is one of the things that I go to kind of add to that program differently than what I would do with a normal story time. Right now, stored in the closet in Harrison, we have Nathanial Willy Scared Silly, and it's in this bag along with some head puppets that just go on the head like this. So for this, you'll call up 5 students from the audience, and then you start the story from there, and I'm just going to go through it how I normally do it with the students and kind of give you an example of it. So the story goes like this. Nathanial Willy Scared Silly. Nathaniel Willy and his grandma lived in a creaky old house in the country. Every night at bedtime, Grandma came into Nathaniel Willy's room. She pulled up the blankets and tucked him all in, then kissed him resoundingly smack on the chin. Now at this point, you're going to have a kid that you've designated as Nathaniel Willy standing next to you. So you're just going to give him a little kiss like, mwah! And usually that gets kind of a big laugh. Good night, eyes shut tight, she said. Then she went out and closed the door. But one bitter cold night when Grandma closed the door, eek! It made a terrible squeak. Nathaniel Willy got scared. He thought he'd heard a ghost. Yow! He cried. And then at this point, I would have my Nathaniel Willy that's standing next to me give me their best frightened noise. And we would yowl along with them, or ah, or whatever noise they made. Grandma came muttering into the room. Don't be a silly, Nathaniel Willy. My nose is all cold and my feet are all chilly. Now what if I hurried outside to the shed and I got you the cat and put him in the bed? Would you be scared then? Oh no, said Nathaniel Willy. I wouldn't be scared then. So Grandma hurried outside to the shed, at which point I go back to my bag, and she got the fluffy white cat, which looks like this, and put her in the bed. And this would be where I would have, I would have a row of students, and I would just put this on my next student after the student that I designated as Nathaniel Willy, and tell her she was my cat, and we would ask her, what noise does a cat make? And she would make a little meow for us, or he would make a little meow for us. And then I would just continue with the story from there with her in the cat outfit. Then she pulled up the blankets and tucked them both in, then kissed them resoundingly smack on the chin. Mwah! Mwah! And at this point, I would kiss both the Nathaniel Willy volunteer and then the child volunteer who was wearing the cat ears. Good night, eyes shut tight, she said. Then she went out and closed the squeaky old door. Eek! It made a terrible squeak. Nathaniel Willy got scared again and went, yow! And I would ask Nathaniel Willy to yow with me. And he cried and squeezed the cat, and the cat went. And then I would ask my cat to make her or his meow noise. Well, Grandma came muttering into the room. Don't be a silly, Nathaniel Willy. My nose is all cold and my feet are all chilly. Now what if I hurried outside to the shed and got you the dog and put him in the bed? Would you be scared then? Oh no, said Nathaniel Willy. I wouldn't be scared then. So Grandma hurried outside to the shed, and she got the brown dog. Oh, no. The spotted dog. I'm sorry. And put him in the bed. So again, I would just have my next volunteer in the row come up and be my dog, and I would just put it on his head. Then she pulled up the covers and tucked them all in, then kissed them resoundingly smack on the chin. Mwah! 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 And I would just give a little faraway kiss to each of them. Good night, eyes shut tight, she said. Then she went out and closed the squeaky old door. Eek! It made a terrible squeak. Nathaniel Willy got scared and cried, and my Nathaniel Willy would go, yow! And he squeezed the cat, who went, and my cat would go, meow! Who scratched the dog, and the dog went, and then I would have my new volunteer make a dog noise for me and go, arf, arf, or whatever they chose. Grandma came muttering into the room. Don't be a silly, Nathaniel Willy. My nose is all cold and my feet are all chilly. Now, what if I hurried outside to the shed and I got you the pig and put him in the bed? Would you be scared then? Oh, no, said Nathaniel Willy. I wouldn't be scared then. So Grandma hurries outside to the shed and gets the pink pig and puts him in the bed. There we go. So then I would have my next volunteer in line. Usually I ask them, is it okay to be a pig? I did have one child once who did not want to be the pig, so then I just switched volunteers. And they were the next animal, which is a cow. Spoiler alert. So I just put the pink pig hat on them, and then usually ask them, now you know what a pig sound is, right? And then they would give us a oink noise, and then I'd be like, good, and then go on with the story. Then she pulled up the blankets and tucked them all in and kissed them resoundingly smack on the chin. Mwah! 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 So again, a kiss for each of the volunteers. Good night, eyes shut tight, she said. Then she went out and closed the squeaky old door. Eek! It made a terrible squeak. Nathaniel Willy got scared again, and he went, and our Nathaniel Willy would go, meow! Who squeezed the cat? And the cat went, and our cat would go, meow! And usually at this point, the kids in the audience are doing the noises along with us. And the cat bit the dog, and the dog went, arf! Who kicked the pig? And the pig went, oink! Well, Grandma came shuddering into the room. Don't be a silly, Nathaniel Willy. My nose is all cold and my feet are all chilly. Now, what if I hurried outside to the shed and I got you the cow and put him in the bed? Would you be scared then? Oh, no, said Nathaniel Willy. I wouldn't be scared then. So, Grandma went to the shed and she got the cow that's fallen on the floor, and we put the cow on our last volunteer and asked them if they know what noise a cow makes. Then she pulled up the covers and tucked them all in and kissed them resoundingly smack on the chin. Mwah! 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 So now everybody gets a kiss. Then she went out and closed the squeaky old door. Eek! It made a terrible squeak. Nathaniel Willy got scared and went, yow! And he squeezed the cat, who went, meow! Who scratched the dog, and the dog went, arf! Who bit the pig, and the pig went, oink! And then the pig kicked the cow, and the cow was so ticklish that she went, moo! And she was so scared that cow jumped right straight into the air and landed, whoomph, on the bed. The bed groaned, and it rattled, and then it wobbled, and then it broke. Crash. Grandma came thundering into the room. This is just plain too much, she bellowed. I got you the cat, I got you the dog, I got you the pig, I got you the cow. I thought that would help, but the bed's broken now. I am out of good ideas, and I'm going to find the wise old woman who lives down the road. She went away, and she came back with the wise old woman, and the wise old woman rolled her eyes and shook her head. This is no way to go to bed, she said. But there's a ghost in my door, said Nathaniel Willy. The wise old woman closed the door, and sure enough, It made a terrible squeak. And the kids are usually making the eek sound along with me at this point. That's not a ghost, she said. Your door has a creak, and that makes it squeak. And now I'm going to fix it. So she put some oil right where the door was squeaky. All done, she said, and went back down the road. Silly me, said Grandma. All this mess for nothing. So she flung the cow up on her back and put the pig in a burlap sack, and with the dog in her left hip and the cat on her right, she scampered outside and kissed them all good night. So then I would just be taking the little hats off of each of my animal volunteers and putting the animals back in the bag. Then Grandma got a hammer and lots of nails, and bang, bang, bingo, bang, Grandma and Nathaniel Willy fixed the bed. No more mess, said Grandma. And no more squeaky door, said Nathaniel Willy. Grandma let out an enormous yawn. Oh. And one last time, she put Nathaniel Willy to bed. She pulled up the blankets and tucked him in, then kissed him resoundingly, mwah, smack on the chin. Good night, eyes shut tight, she said. Then she went out and closed the quiet old door. Shh. The end. So then I would ask a round of applause for all of my volunteers, and there you have it. It's a great interactive story. You can also take this idea and apply it to all different kinds of stories that have that same kind of rhythm to it. For Halloween, I do a story called The Little Old Woman Who Wasn't Afraid of Anything, who has a similar pattern where like they go on a little adventure and they encounter like a pair of pants that is supposed to scare her and a pair of shoes. So you can always grab that book, and there's actually a scarecrow in the basement in Claire that I use that for, and I just build up the scarecrow as the story goes. So you can definitely create your own stories like this pretty easily, and we have the farm animal puppets, so you can always incorporate those too.